And now, through the magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future, Transformers Slag Podcast.
What up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday night of the Transformers Slag Podcast? We didn't have one last week. I'll get into a moment why that didn't happen. But how we all doing? It is a crazy Saturday night here in the Transformer world. It is London Comic-Con weekend. A lot of new stuff to talk about. New reveals from the 10/27 that we got yesterday. Much to discuss tonight. So we're going to jump right into it. We'll cover the news over the past couple of days. We will talk about what happened last week. We'll take some super chats from the fans as always. You're always welcome to throw in your opinions and super chats and everything like that. We'll cover what we got last week also in cool little merch and stuff. It's going to be a fantastic night tonight. I hope you will join me. Camera's a little messed up because everything's been messed around with hope of a good live stream last weekend. We'll get into that in a moment. But how we all doing? My name's Proto Man. This is the Transformers Slag Podcast, and this is the face that runs this place. This is the voice that you hear Monday to Friday, and it is Saturday night. My voice has recovered from TFcon weekend last weekend, and so we tried to do a live stream last week. I was aiming to do that, just trying to find the right opportunity and stuff. But upon arriving to TFcon in Orlando, one thing became abundantly clear, which was how absolutely, for lack of better words, dog crap the Wi-Fi was. It was terrible. If you were not in the convention center using the specific Wi-Fi code, there was no way you were going to have any kind of Wi-Fi that was past 1 bar, even in your hotel room. The Orlando location, I've been to a lot of great conventions in the past that had great hotels, TFCon included, BotCon and the others. But this was a very rustic hotel, very straight out of the 70s. That's what it really felt like. Needed an update. And the internet was no different. And the internet was really bad that weekend. A lot of people were flying blind unless they were inside the convention center, oddly enough. That was the only time you really had decent internet. And that's probably the only time you ever heard from me or maybe got a tweet or a message or something. So we didn't get to do a live stream last week as a result because there would have been no way that I could have got this running. Brought my laptop for nothing, brought the camera for nothing, brought everything for nothing. My Switch I brought with, couldn't even log on to my games to play online. Nothing. So, this is our grand return to live streams. Thank you for all the patience and just enjoying everything we do here. And we'll get into all of that too later tonight. But let's jump into some names. We got Princeton Phalanx 59. We got JR Mina from the Philippines. We got Collector Prime. We got Timmy K. Poindexter Esquire Jr. the Third. Who else do we got? We got Black Crow Vengeance. We got Transformatics. Haven't seen you in a while. Who else do we got? Retrick Union is here. Will Murphy Tucker is back. We got who else here? We got T-Formers 2002. We got Horned Owl. We got Ashnud. Who else are we missing here? Abraham is here. Mike is here. Mike Rosen. Packed house today. Link CW is here, probably working. Talib is here. A lot of people here. Great stuff. So more people are starting to file in. We got some of our Patreon people too that I believe are also popping in too. It's going to be a really good night tonight. We got a lot to cover. So let's jump into it. A lot of stuff. Orlando Chavez is here too. Just jumped in. So we have New York Comic Con this weekend and Hasbro did a panel. Originally, this was something we were going to get more high-res, nicer photos from BMAC, from Hasbro Marketing. The original plan was for the 10/27 to feature this, but everything got pushed back. They planned to reveal other stuff instead, so all that got pushed back, so the reveals were then saved for London Comic-Con, and we got all our Studio Series Wave 1 2024 items. We teased about it, we talked about it through multiple segments, and now we finally got the visuals of them. I might do an individual segment on these to kind of break down the visuals and stuff and have all different slides and everything. but you will get, what's up, Ron? We will get probably some better images hopefully by Monday, and that's when I will do that segment, because all we have right now is some photography from different individuals in the crowd. So let's jump into it. Let's start with our core class. All right, so Studio Series going into 2024. All of the items we are talking about here today are scheduled to be going up on pre-order in the next couple of months and will be shipping out February 2024. We seem to not have MSRP price adjustments going into 2024, which is a good thing for your wallet, at least. So the first one we got here is a core class Bumblebee movie Rumble concept design. And we're going to be seeing this a lot more. And this does open up the idea of doing concept designs for Studio Series, ideas that didn't make the movies, or ideas that would have been in the movies, or deleted scenes, or deleted characters. That gives me kind of hope for our little bus transit transformer from Rise of the Beast. Transit, fun fact, was a Montreal bus. So I'm really looking forward to Transit getting some kind of Studio Series release if concepts are truly something that is an availability. So what do we got here? Well, we got a Rumble that is clearly going to be compatible with your Bumblebee movie Voyager class Soundwave, that more cube kind of design that we already saw from the Ravage. So it is something that really opens up the floodgates for what potentially could be done there. And again, when they're going to do that mold, you know what's coming next. We're going to get a Frenzy. Maybe if they're feeling skittish, we might get a Rosanna, maybe Enemy. Maybe if they want to do some retooling, we could do a Movieverse Rewind and Eject. Who knows? Who knows? But that really opens it up to a lot of wackiness. And this guy's going to be $11.99, so no MSRP change on that one. And then we get into the other core class here, our Last Night Mohawk. Mohawk was one of those characters that were in the Last Night. He was there for a hot minute, and then he was promptly taken care of. Obviously, during that initial run of Last Night toys in the movie, Hasbro had no interest in making figures of those Decepticon characters that had very short screen time, and thus Mohawk pretty much ended up with absolutely nothing. Literally, I think the closest thing, a lot of people were using their Revenge of the Fallen Brimstone as their stand-in Mohawk figure for their collection, because they really just didn't have anything that they could use. And if you look at Brimstone, it has similar colors. It's a motorcycle, so people could get away with it. But it is what it is. What's up, Tom? Um, but yeah, so Cringe McCringle, what's up? Everyone's piling in now. So this one too, this is a great item. Finally he gets a figure. So if you have your movie collection and you want to have your complete Decepticons from the Last Night, finally you have that one extra piece that was missing. Not a very major piece, not a very long-standing piece, not a very important trademark, but yet here we are. The Last Night Mohawk finally gets a figure. Now we're still waiting for Botanica. Everyone but Botanica. It is what it is. So let's get into our deluxes. So our deluxes, of course, are kind of a flip and a flop of doing something better than before and doing something that, I don't know. So same story. These will be shipping out February 2024, and the MSRP has not changed on either of these at $24.99. First one here is a Studio Series 108 Deluxe Class Rise of the Beast Wheeljack. Now, I will probably do a separate segment on this just to break down the differences between that and the mainline one that we got. So the mainline Wheeljack that we got, a lot of those veneering and surface details on that one were based on early concepts of what Wheeljack was going to look like in the movie. So specifically the chest detail, the front headlights and stuff like that. The final animation model of what Wheeljack ended up looking like in the movie, and of course different pieces of art and stuff, is what this is based on. So there is quite a big difference between the mainline version and this one. This one is the more screen accurate one of the bunch. And rightfully so, because it's the Studio Series 1. If you're going to be paying that kind of coin, well, you better darn get the best version of him. And again, $24.99. Looking good, in my opinion. Now, the Scorponok. This one, it's kind of made me scratch my chin. I'm kind of hoping it's just the photography here, but The animation model for Scorponok in the movie leaned more like on those purple areas, they leaned more on a reddish kind of crimson. So, I mean, this clearly is a step up from what we got from the main line. That Scorponok that came with a a battle master, sand spear, as it was called, his little battle master. So this is something that, and again, transformation is not really that important because at the end of the day, it was all about the alt mode, which was featured in the movie. But just like with the original movie Scorponok back in 2007, robot mode is just has to be there for the gimmick. But the purple, it kind of throws me off because, again, watching the movie multiple times, I'm seeing more of a red tinge. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm colorblind, but this one seems a little off. The overall surface detail is really good. It does look a lot like the animation model of the character of those Predacons. But when you're talking about the coloring, I think it could be better. And this is something, dare I say, we might see something in the future, much like they did with the premium series, the premium finish series with Takara, or maybe some other separate kind of subline like we're seeing right now from Takara. They might do a more movie accurate colored version in the long run, but we'll stay tuned for that. We'll see what they do. But that one's kind of a shame. The wheel jack is pretty good. That's a step up. But the Scorponok, I feel like there's still more meat on the bone that could be improved, in my opinion. So again, February 2024, these will start shipping out. $24.99, no MSRP change on those. How about our Voyager class now? So our Voyager class, we finally get to see the alt mode of this guy after quite the extensive photo shoot of robot modes. I found that fascinating. They steal the toy, they take tons of photos of the robot mode, and they don't even take one single photo of the alt mode. Maybe they didn't have the pieces, maybe they didn't know how to transform it. When you steal it, you don't have the instructions of the box. So it is what it is. But here we have Voyager class movie scrap heap. Now we see the alt mode. That's the most important thing. If you want to see detailed photos of the robot mode, we covered it on the podcast quite a few weeks ago. So it is clear that is a brand new tooling of that junk heap and the Wreck-Ar. So again, something that's fresh, something that's new that does exist for your Junkion army. This also, because so with the Junkions, there was a lot of confusion with the names, and because Scrap Heap was a character that had the name Scrap Heap, and then Junk Heap was supposed to be the character Junkyard. We actually learned this weekend why they went with Junk Heap instead of Junkyard. The GI Joe Classifieds line is going to have Mutt with Junkyard the dog. And so that trademark is going to be used with GI Joe and not to have any kind of shelf confusion, I guess, for the retailers and the orderers. So that's why they went with Junk Heap, I imagine. But it is what it is. And now we kind of have that answer through G.I. Joe too. But here's our alt mode looking really good. Grow your Junkion army even more. It's getting crazy. Now we got the Voyager class War for Cybertron video game Starscream. This one we got a whole bunch of fantastic photos from Evan on his Instagram account. So same story. I'm probably going to be doing an individual segment about this guy and really breaking down what's going on visually side by side. This was a Tomo-san design from Takara, and I'll be honest with you, I think it looks a little funky. Um, when you compare it to the animation model, I think that it's very chunky in a lot of areas here, where even the original deluxe and the CG CAD for the video game were a little more slim. I don't know. Like, I mean, Evan said in his comments on Instagram, they kind of had to make it a little more wide and everything so that the head could be fit in and stuff. And I get it. I mean, I get it at the end of the day, but it is kind of interesting. But Evan made some really nice photos, really selling it in a lot of ways. So it does look pretty good. So we got our Gamer Edition '06 War for Cybertron Starscream. And we know what's coming after this. Pick your color, pick your design, and it'll be done. Enter a whole new sub faction of Seekers you will be buying in the near future, because even the original deluxe class of War for Cybertron video game Starscream had all the Seekers. So no surprise there. Stay tuned with that. So these guys here are the Voyager classes. These are going to stay at their MSRP of $34.99 in retail, shipping out February 2024. Stay tuned for that. Our brand new Voyager classes. Now then, we talked about this one throughout the week. We speculated about it. We had images, we had concepts, we had tiny turbo changers and 3A model kits and all kinds of stuff that didn't happen. Let's talk about our leader class. Let's talk about our leader class, Bumblebee movie, Megatron concept, another concept idea rumored was originally supposed to be in the movie, was taken out more for just keeping the excitement and the action focused on Bumblebee and stuff and the main villains of that. So Studio Series 109 Leader Class Bumblebee movie Megatron Concept Edition, and this guy is a triple changer. Oddly enough, traditional Megatron style design, has a tank mode and something that kind of looks like a drone, kind of looks like an Avengers Q jet. I don't know. It's a lot of a little different kind of visuals going on there. Interesting choice by making him a triple changer. But when you look at all the Decepticons that were featured in the Bumblebee movie that did transform proper, they were all triple changers. So I guess they just kind of want to keep that kind of thing. Maybe they want to establish that, early in the war in the movie verse, Decepticons really focused on being triple changers and that ultimate deception. That even the alt modes, you can't even, oh, is that tank? Is that Megatron? Because last time I saw Megatron, he was a jet. So very interesting that they keep that synergy there. This is all we got photo wise right now. Hopefully we'll get some better photos. BMAX said this stuff was going to be in the display at at London Comic Con. Maybe they'll do it overnight from the Saturday into the Sunday, and it'll be in the glass cases, and we'll get some nicer photos of this. But he looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Leader class. The side by side scale photos that YOLO Park and a lot of the other companies had when they were teasing the model kits. This guy was supposed to be massive compared to a Voyager class Optimus, so stays true to that by making this one a tall leader to a Voyager Bumblebee movie Optimus. And it looks good. Looks good. Finally nice to see it. And again, much like with the Rumble, this opens up the idea to like, concepts and all these other ideas. There's all different kinds of things that can now come from this. It could be like, unreleased, well, we have like in the chat here, unreleased, animated stuff, unreleased, all kinds of things. Who knows? Who knows? Honestly, I think animated stuff will probably find its way more into legacy or our classics-esque kind of designs, but at least it opens up to a lot of things. We could see video game concept designs. We could see all kinds of different things. So anything is possible. And I think also with the shrinking number of characters that could be done for Studio Series, but still this expectation to have two deluxes, two core classes, one leader, two Voyagers. That's a lot of characters every single wave they need to have pumped out. And while the core classes could be fed in with, larger characters and smaller price points, the deluxes, the Voyagers, the leaders, they're more have to be in scale with everybody. And man, oh man, looks like it's going to open up to a lot of stuff. Pretty hype. Pretty hype. Now for the pièce de résistance, the big one this weekend. Let's talk about Magmatron. We got some nice photos here today, nice and clean. Yeah, that was quite an individual ride that we had on Friday. Originally, Hasbro was supposed to do their Hasbro Pulse 1027 live stream at 3 p.m. Someone behind the scenes obviously hit the live button, and the pre-recorded segment went early, and it wasn't meant to go early, and then it got taken down. And then a lot of us content creators who are part of the marketing list got private messages saying, "Hey, could you not talk about this until 3 p.m.?" And that's why I kind of waited until 3 p.m. to talk about the segment instead of just running out and talking about it right away. And yeah, so it was a bit of a mess, but now we got some nice photos. Now everything's here. Cat is out of the bag. Our commander class for Transformers Legacy United is upon us. And man, it looks really good. Yep, you guys, you have to understand something. Like the original, the original Magmatron was a fantastic figure, but due to just this hot mess of everything combining, it's not much of it in terms of articulation. You could kind of do some decent poses and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's kind of limited by it. It's got little wing things and everything, and look at that. Ooh, you got these almost like Mowgli from Gremlins. But very cool toy, very awesome. This one here is the Japanese version, has a little sharper sword, where the Beast Machines one had a more of a rounded sword and stuff. A lot of cool little Easter eggs that the this one has here today. I love it. I think it looks great. Uh, Everything that the original figure had is maintained here, but given articulation in the modern era, and that's fantastic. Even the crazy articulation of the Nessie kind of, sea Saurus is there. Like, they didn't skimp out on that. Nice ball joints on everything. All the figures look really good. We still don't have a photo of the Magmasaurus mode, the combined mode, but we probably will get some, like, in the near future, from probably Mark on his Instagram. So stay tuned for that. And, we'll cover it here on the Transformers Slag podcast when they do. But there's even more extras, because when you get to that box, oh, the Easter eggs that are going on here. Where do I begin? So let's start with the top. But no, let's start at the bottom left. So in the bottom left, you got that tusk that's kind of popping out there. That's clearly Big Convoy off camera there. So we're going to probably see a Big Convoy in the near future. Maybe he'll be our commander class next year. I could totally see that happening. He's such a big, hulking figure. They'll make sure to put all the price point and all the pieces to have an opening chest, matrix of leadership, the big convoy cannon, the big cannon, whole bunch of stuff. So that's the first thing. On the top left, you got the Dinosaur, which is Magmatron's personal ship. So that's also making a nice little cameo in the corner. In the bottom right there, we got D Navi, aka Destron Navi, aka the Destron Decepticon Princess, the Navi or navigation AI of the Dinosaur. She's a female character, oddly enough. It's such a shame that this one did not wasn't part of the box set. It would have been cool to have a little D Navi figure included with this, especially for a commander class. Looking really, really good. Love that one. And then at the top of the box, uh, Mark pointed this out, and it made me really scratch my chin. He was really pointing out the Gung Ho, which is the maximal ship in Beast Wars Neo, and going like, "Oh, we might see the Gung Ho in the future." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! Are you talking like Titan class kind of thing going on?" So interesting that that's there too. A lot of Easter eggs on this box, and of course on the top right there, what I love is, much like the original toy had the little spark emblems on both the sword. Let me get the sword in shot here. One there, and then one there. The original toy has the little spark orbs or spark crystals, however you want to label them, also on this toy, maintaining that from the original. So that's really cool. I am really looking forward to Magmatron. What a Beast Wars year it has been for us. And along with the Silverbolt that we got a small little teaser of, we didn't get to see it transformed during the 1027 stream segment, but we did get to see the robot mode. And man, it's looking great. It's looking hype. Magmatron, this Commander class. So Magmatron went up for pre-order today. He is going to be $89.99. No MSRP increase from last year with Armada Optimus Prime, so that's really good. Going into 2024, they are not increasing the prices on our Transformer product, so it is going to be $89.99. This is planned to ship out July 1st, 2024, so stay tuned for that. This is a Mark design along with Shusan in Japan, so really good stuff, really bringing that original toy, that original badass toy into the modern era. That is crazy. And I mean, this one here, I mean, this is like maybe maybe like a 9-inch figure at best. That commander is probably going to be much larger and beefier, judging by the scale that we saw with Mark and Evan with their photos. So this thing's going to tower. It's going to look great. Very hyped about this. Very, very hyped. We got our first super chat member one from David Cabal. What's up, David? How we doing from the West Coast? Protoman, what would you bring back from the past? David, what do you mean, like in general, or do you mean from Transformers? Um, you know what I would bring back from the past? It's a hot take, very hot take. Not everyone having the internet. um, as someone who had the internet back in 1997, it was a much calmer and better world we lived in, when not everyone could complain with Cheetos on their face from their couch about every little thing. kind of miss that. I kind of miss when people just kind of had to hang out in person. That's one thing I definitely bring back. I always say like 1997 was peak humanity in my opinion. Just enough internet to get your feet wet. Wrestling was good, music was good, video games were good, everything was good. Obviously, everyone's gonna have a different answer. Everyone has different opinions. Everyone thinks their era is the best era. I talk to people that are like, "Oh, early 2000s was peak." I talk to people that, "Oh, the 80s were peak, the 60s were peak." For me, 1997, I don't know why. I look at that year and between wrestling, music, video games, like 97 gave us like Final Fantasy, Ocarina of Time. So you're a PlayStation guy or an N64 guy, you know, uh, internet was like I said, internet existed. It had just enough to get us, our feet wet, but not enough that there was the crazies on there too. So it was what it was. So I'll go with that. I'll go with a little less internet for most people because sometimes I feel when the genie got out of the bottle, sometimes I wonder. A lot of the negativity that exists in the world today is because of all of that
No matter the
accessibility.
cost.
Princeton Phalanx 59, do you think Hasbro will make Magnaboss? I think so, in all honesty. I think that, the Beast Wars characters are a plethora of trademarks that they already possess because of some of those names, and another one that are new trademarks that they could revisit at some point. And Magnaboss is one of those that's also good because it covers two regions. It's something that you release it here, and you got something for people who were nostalgic for that combiner that was available for us in the third wave of Beast Wars toys in 96, 97. And then it has a whole Beast Wars second, Beast Wars 2 connotation with Japan, where it actually was a character. Makes me wonder if they release Magnaboss, is it going to have two different head colors for Prowl, aka Lio Convoy Jr.? Is it going to have two different head sculpts for the combined mode of Magnaboss, which is part of the Ironhide, aka Santon? We already got Skywarp, aka Silverbolt. There's a lot to take apart there with that one, but I do see it happening. I think that there's certain ones that I could see them wanting to do as a challenge almost to themselves as designers. If Mark and Evans stay on the team in the foreseeable future, I could see those two happening for sure, like Magnaboss and Tripredacus. David Cabal follows up here. Love that take. Was a privilege to get on the internet. I remember looking up the old toy websites and researching Transformers on the Transformers the movie '86. Dude, back in the like all the big names in a lot of ways of the Transformer fandom today come from that old era. Benson Yee and Hydra and all those guys, the TFW 2005 crew when they were transfandom.org. All of those. That's the old era, man. It's the old era. Good times. Humbler times, let me tell you. But thank you for the questions. So yeah, so again, we got the bonuses, looking great, awesome stuff. I'm very excited about it. Stay tuned for that. Where do we go from there? What's up, Larry? So let's do some sponsor stuff. We'll do some sponsor stuff. We'll talk about TFcon and some of the cool stuff I got that weekend. Spoiler, a lot of it is in Transformers, oddly enough. I'll get into that in a moment. We'll do some sponsor stuff, and then we'll chill. We'll take some super chats from people too and everything, and we'll just chillax. One thing I'll tell you, so we're going to talk about Symbiote Studios, but so TFCon weekend, Symbiote Studios had some of their stuff in the glass case on display, and they had their Symbiote Studios Transformers Slag Podcast plush. Oh, you can't see it; it's off over there with all the other crew. There's the Grimlock and stuff, but um, we had that on display at the booth too, and everyone kept coming by the booth and asking, "Is this for sale? Is this for sale?" Uh, yeah, it is for sale on symbiotestudios.com. If you want the Transformer Slag SDCC plush, it is available at symbiotestudios.com. It is a lot bigger than you think it is. Let me grab it over here. It is there. It's so people got to see it in person. They were surprised how big Symbiote Studios plushes are. Look, I got a big old dumb head. Look how big this thing is. So it's something where those were on display. We had the Optimus Primal was on display also at the show. Let me pull up the Primal, which was the other San Diego exclusive, also available on the website now. Just all of them were there. We had a nice little display. This one was not on display, but will be probably available on the website in early 2024. So stay tuned for that for Ultra Magnus and the crew. All of them, symbiotestudios.com. Go check it out, yo. They're a lovely sponsor of the podcast and very talented dudes that are very open-minded to putting out the best Transformer plush product out there. I don't want to throw shade, but over TFcon weekend, there was an individual that was selling a lot of handmade plushes, and they were significantly smaller and they were $90 each. Now I get it. I get it. I get it. They're handmade, they take more time, and they're smaller and they're a little more individual, but $90, the symbiote ones, they're not $90. They're 29, some of them even cheaper. So it is what it is, but check them out, symbiotestudios.com. Check out their plush, their pins, their t-shirts, all the other Hasbro brands that they do, the Power Ranger ones. We got our Dino Zord that is now available on there too. Magic the Gathering, My Little Pony, G.I. Joe. If it's Hasbro, it's Symbiote Studios. Go check them out. And it gets the Proto Man seal of approval. So, pretty good stuff. And then, of course, seal of approval, more like saving my spine. And Seats, our beautiful chairs that we got from And Seats. They sent me this beautiful Optimus one. And in my entire life, I never had a good computer chair. I always had a crappy Walmart chair. And now I have something with lower lumbar support. Gives you a nice lower lumbar support, matching Optimus Prime. Depending on which character you get, you will get the same thing. You'll get an extra lower lumbar support for your character. Let me just show the other one here. There you go. Nice, beautiful And Seats. Use promo code ProtoMan. Get 15% off your first order. Good stuff, good stuff. What's up, Aaron? Aaron, every single time you come into the live stream, it's right when I'm going to talk about you. Because what else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the Toy Armada, our latest segment. So if you have not seen it, we put up the latest segment of the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. We talk about the 20th anniversary of 20th anniversary Optimus Prime. We go into the deep nitty-gritty of how the beginning of Masterpiece was created. How did this idea get off the ground, and how 20 years later it still exists and is the longest running Transformer subline to this very day, the Masterpiece line. Aaron pitching it, how it all happened, being one of the most craziest creations in all of Transformers in terms of budget. You learn about how the budgeting works, all the pieces that were put into it, why the stuff was done. A bountiful riches, I believe, was the exact quote from Aaron himself in this segment. Go check it out. A good hour and a couple of minutes of me and Aaron talking about the history of this very important piece of Transformers technology. Very good stuff. The Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. After you're done listening to my voice, scoot on over there to the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer and go listen to his voice. And mine again, too. But mostly his sexy voice, talking about the robots in the skies. And speaking of which, if you weren't at TFcon this weekend, mind you, these sold out extremely quickly at TFcon weekend. But you could also check out Aaron Archer's brand new art book, The Art of Transforming Robots, Volume 2, Color Edition. Aaron, how quickly did these sell out? I think you had like 20 of them, and then they were all gone. Those were gone pretty quickly. $20 gets you the actual book in color, 36 pages of original art from Aaron Archer from that era of Transformers that he created. You throw in an extra $15 and he'll do a nice custom sketch of whatever you want on the inside of the book. Personalize it, gift it to a friend. Hey, if he didn't make a character that you like, get him to customize it and make him draw a Bionicle in there. I'm pretty sure Aaron wouldn't mind drawing some Lego. So pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Let's jump into some super chats before we finish this up, because we still got some other Aaron things we got to talk about in TFCon. David Cabal with the $2 super chat question. Any update on the buzzworthy Bumblebee Hound? Yeah, so there was supposed to be an Earth mode Bumblebee Hound. We talked about it on the podcast. Geez, I want to say 6 months ago, maybe more than that. And the question was posed to BMAC, and it was that, along with the Velocitron hot rod and a few other items, that right now they're trying to find a retailer that wants to carry them, because the Velocitron hot rod was supposed to be a Walmart exclusive. The Hound was supposed to be a Target exclusive through Buzzworthy. Supposedly, they just didn't have the slots for it at the time, and now they're just trying to find a place for it. It looks like the tooling is there, the concept is there, the engineering is there. They're literally just waiting for for an opportunity for a retailer to go, yeah, we'll do this, and the rest will be history. So we'll probably have to stay tuned for that one. But it's been 6 months, which is pretty crazy. I hope it doesn't fall into complete limbo, but that's pretty awesome. Zach with the $5 super chat. How you doing, Zach? Thank you for the love and support. I know I'm jumping the gun, but what are your thoughts on the no-nif major upgrade kit for for sludge into paddles? Will you be getting it? Well, if I firmly believe Hasbro sooner or later is going to do a paddles figure. I just feel that, now they got Scar out of their system. They did that one. Oh, we got Scar. Finally, that one's done. Now we'll probably do a full size Scar. At some point we might even get a Voyager, a leader class of Scar just to get that done. Studio series, 86 Scar concept. Even though that doesn't make sense because Scar wasn't in the 86 movie, but it's something where I could totally see them going that route in a lot of ways. It's really something. And Paddles too. Paddles is another one of those, like the sixth air quote uh Dinobots. Paddles I always found was more of a female character. There was a really good third party female Dinobot. I forget the company that did it, but it was really nicely done. I really dug it. And I always felt like that was like my stand-in masterpiece Paddles figure. Really nice one there. I'm bad with third party names. Like they always have wacky names and stuff. Someone in the chat's always going to know what I'm talking about. I think TF Source still has it for sale if you are interested. But yeah, so check out Aaron's book, and thank you, Zach, for the question. You know what? I'm not big on upgrade kits. Really not. They have to be like something that's really, really awesome. Like there was a third party upgrade kit for Studio Series 86. Hot rod, and it came like with a fishing pole and stuff like that. And they're cool. They're cool. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like, the money that's I spend on those, I could spend on so many other Transformer product. And I just feel that sooner or later we will get those things in some kind of official capacity too. So it is what it is, but kind of a different world. Also on Aaron's website, so this is the last of his instructions for the time being. There is only one instruction left on archermonster.com/shop. Get it while you can. It is the Energon bulkhead one. Nice, gigantic, painted Energon bulkhead. Everything else that weekend got sold. It was a madhouse at Aaron's booth. A lot of instructions got sold. This is the very last one of those for the time being. So get it while you still can before it disappears. It's the bulkhead, but the first bulkhead, not the animated bulkhead, the Energon Voyager class. I guess it was called no, it wasn't called a Voyager back then, but whatever that price point was, Gigacot. I mean, me and Aaron don't even remember anymore. But that Voyager-esque price point that came with that Ed 209 extension. So go check that out, archermonster.com/shop, and pick up the very last of the instructions. For the next time being, there will be more in the future, but grab this one while you can in beautiful paint and design. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't it gorgeous? And that's it more or less for sponsorship. Thank you guys, Hasbro and everybody. And let's get into TFcon, what we got at TFcon. I'm not going to be showing everything we got, but just a lot of gifts, some of the cool stuff I picked up this weekend. Just want to give a shout out. Where's my little slide here? I want to give a shout out to all the fans and stuff. Like, it was a crazy weekend. I made it a rule to myself that if someone asked for a photo with me, I would take a photo with them for my phone to document it, to share and do a little collage. So pretty much almost everybody I got a photo of. I know there was a few that got away. I know there were some people that gave me gifts and then they disappeared. As you can see, if you look carefully, some people gave me food, some people gave me chocolate bars. Shout out to the guy from Peru that gave me the Danishes, I guess would be the best Canadian explanation for what that is. They were very sweet. I know my roommates dug them. They wanted some sweetness. And then I got a dude who hooked me up with paydays, clearly was listening to the live streams and know that that's my favorite of all the chocolate bars, but is not allowed in Canada because it's ridiculously unhealthy paydays. One payday bar is 60% of your sugar for the day. Oh, and excuse me, 60% of your sugar for the day, but it's half the bar. Excuse me, it's not even the whole bar. That's the thing when you read the label. And he brought me 2 king size ones. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool gifts. I'll go through some of them and give people shout outs for their kindness and everything. But thank you all for coming by the booth and saying that you love what I do and everything and what me and Aaron do with the other podcasts with the Toy Armada. It's always great to know and see those faces face to face, see the faces of our fans instead of it just words on a screen or everything. So really cool stuff. Thanks again for the love and support. Thank you for coming by and buying some little hot rod figures. And, we sold out of the Famicom boys like instantly. Like by 11 o'clock that Saturday, they were all gone. I will say this. Let me just grab one of the prototypes off screen here for you guys. Well, there goes the other one. We are going to be working on a second run of them if you will be at TFcon Los Angeles. We will have a second run of these ready to go. I don't know how many units, but we will have stuff ready with the tech spec bio and everything for you guys, as well as some more of the little hot rods. Stay tuned for that. We're going to get it all done in time. We won't be late. And you'll get an opportunity at TFCon Los Angeles when that comes in March of next year. So, but yeah, thanks for all the love and support, everyone. Great stuff. And just want to kind of like just show a few things. So, number one, want to give a shout out to a lovely lady came by the booth, gave me these stickers because she knew I was a huge fan of Gridman and, of course, a prototype RC sticker. So, shout out to Shinani Sketches. I think the screen name is Shinani Sketches. So, all the ladies from Gridman. So very cool stuff. And of course, a little RC there. So check out Shinani Sketches. Very awesome of her to swing by and throw those and then disappear into the crowd. Josh Perez, his Kiss Play. I love this. It's not conveyed when it has this. It has like sparkles on it. Oh my God, you can't even see it with my camera. So it has a whole bunch of like sparkles on it. It looks really nice. His Kiss Play art of animated Bumblebee with Sari in Kiss Play style. Yuki Ashima, for people that I'm not going to reach for the book. For people that don't understand what that's homaging, Google it and enjoy it. um, Want to give a shout out to Jared. Jared is currently working on the Orson Welles biopic, and I helped Jared promote it and stuff. And Jared came by and he gave me a little postcard and a custom Orson Welles rosebud uh, little figurine, which of course is based on Cosmos. Has a unique head sculpt there. There you go. There's a little unique head sculpt. Has a little rosebud sticker on the chest, and yes, it does transform because it's just Cosmos transforms in a little rosebud Decepticon emblem instead of an Autobot emblem. Very cool of him to swing by and hook me up with that. That was very cool of him. Again, check out Planet Orson. That's going to be the documentary that will be coming out. I'm not sure on the release date yet, but it is out there, the information. Shout out to Jared. Thank you for swinging by, bro. Taking a nice little selfie together. He wasn't part of that group of selfies. I took a different one with him with the pretty cool stuff. A lot of good things there. Um, Let me just read what we got here. Ron Diaz. There's Ron Diaz. There he is. Ron was the one who gave me the stuff. Next time we'll have a pint with you. My girl and I enjoy talking to you about nutrition. You know what? It's funny. That was a conversation quite a bit this weekend because going to the States and eating a whole bunch of unhealthy American food, which I enjoy because you don't get to eat that kind of craziness back home here. But my voice is still trying to recover a little bit from just, talking at the bar with people and just having a great weekend. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. No joke. I did not stop talking all weekend. It was like, get off the plane, met with Aaron, talk, 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 talk. Get off the plane, bump into people because they recognize me, talk, 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 talk. Get into my room, unpack, talk, talk, talk. Get out of the room, go back, go to the dealer room on the Friday, setting up, shaking hands with people I haven't seen in like 3 years and stuff. talking, talking, talking. It was nonstop. Go to the con, talk to people. Go to the bar, talk to people. It's like I think I only stopped talking when I slept. That's about it. That was about it, really. But man, it was a fantastic weekend. Really great stuff, and just a lot of great people. I want to go keep going through all the good stuff here and there. A fan named Andrew Bernies brought me his little Armada art book. I want to just show my favorite page that Andrew did here. Where is it? The one with Duelor. Duelor is my favorite mini con. Where is it? Ah, there he is. He has a very cool art style. There's Duelor and the other Destruction mini cons, but it's a whole bunch. Go check out Andrew's work there. Unofficial illustration celebrating Transformers from that Aaron Archer era. He hooked up Aaron with one too. And I was like, Andrew, you got to sign it for me. Wait, hold on. I don't want to spoil everything in the book. I want you guys to go check it out. Uh, he has a good Unicron one here too. Yes, see, I don't want to show because he has some really good art in here. Like, got him to sign it for me right there. There's Andrew's signature. Love the podcast. Love the book, man. Love the book. Thank you for the little art book you hooked me up with. That was a nice gift. What else do we got? What else do we got? I don't want to forget anything here. Oh, shout out to Blind Prime. So we have a individual in the fandom, and you might as well put that. You could scan his QR code there. So he is a blind toy reviewer, and he listens to the podcast because apparently I have a very good voice. I guess I don't know. I don't know why you'd want to listen to my voice, but and what was funny was when he came by the booth. I believe he was with his wife or his handler, he was like, "Oh, you don't even sound like that in person." By then, I think it was like the Sunday, my voice was gone. I didn't even sound like I normally do. But shout out to him. He has a YouTube channel, Blind Prime. He does toy reviews. He's a blind Transformer toy reviewer, which is quite fascinating. Then it would all be about the tactile feeling. Man, I imagine messing with movie toys with all those sharp edges must like throw him off. But that was really cool to meet him. Really awesome stuff. He came by our panel too with me and Aaron, asked some good questions. We also got this little guy, which I'm going to be doing probably an individual uh, Instagram post with more information on it. So maybe stay tuned for that. But he's a little transforming silverfish in a lot of ways. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna save it for. I'll save it for the Instagram post. That way you'll get all. It's a nice little transforming. Has a mini con port on it and everything. It's a little mini con, custom made one. That was a nice gift from a fan. I'll post all the information on Instagram later this week. We'll post more stuff that we got. So that was a nice little gift from a fan too. What else do we got? Hope I don't want to miss any questions here. We got some greens. Sorry, Proto, I couldn't make it. It was 1 hour away. I was 1 hour away to the con, but still love what you do. Thank you, Link CW, for coming by. From just being a fan. Anyways, look, you'll have other opportunities. I always say if you look when I worked at Burger King back in the day, I got paid terrible. I got paid $500 Canadian, which is like, geez, like 450 American, actually less than that, probably like 430. I got paid like 430 American every 2 weeks. I got paid nothing back in the day working at Burger King, and I still found a way to save my money to make it to Bacons back in the day. So if you could just focus your money, 1 month's pay usually covers flight and hotel. If you really focus your money, and that's how I was able to pull it off back in the day. So it is what it is. You could pull it off too, and make it to all those shows. LA's the next one. That's the one that I really suggest people don't miss. LA is going to be a crazy show. 40th anniversary of the brand, G1 reunion. Other voice actors will be there too, outside of Generation 1 because they just live there. So they might as well be, you know. It's going to be nuts. It is going to be bananas. So heavily suggest you make it out there. Uh, Sheriff Latif, I met Proto at TFcon, was awesome. Thank you. You know what, guys? Another thing too I want to ask is when you guys come and introduce yourselves, let me know your screen name. Tell me your screen name. Look, there's a chance I might not know your screen name, but there's a chance I might have seen your names. Look, I see these screen names every time I do the live streams. I see your names. So if you go up to me and go, "Hey Proto, my name is so and so," I will remember. There was an individual, Go Andy Robo, and I was in the lobby. He came up to me and he said, "You probably don't know who I am. I'm Go Andy Robo." And I said, "No, I absolutely know who you are. I see your tweets. I love your posts. Like I told him that. Like I love his stuff because he likes the same things I like. But some people they feel like, oh, maybe he won't know who I am. No, but introduce yourselves. There's a strong chance I might know who you are, and it puts a face with the name, and I love to do that. I'm not really big on names and stuff, but faces. I'll always remember a face. So Talib says, I was wanting to update the death source at the 1027, hopefully something soon. Well, they gave a little bit of an update. I believe it was on Instagram. They kind of just showed a little bit, but I mean, historically, we've been getting these guys around November, December, anyways. So we're just going to have to sit back and hope that we get them sooner or later. Tom Laney, laugh out loud. That's why I go by Tom Laney. Makes it easy. It's true. If you go by your real name. Michael Butcher, what's up? Tucker, I was going to start putting my handle in Instagram comments for that reason too. Well, that's why it's always good to have a consistency. If your Instagram name, your Twitter name, and everything is the same, it's a lot easier also for people to remember. What else did we get? So this one was fascinating. So Figpin had a booth at TFcon, and so it's very rare in all the years of TFCon. I was working on their exclusives back in the past, writing their bios and stuff. It's very rare that TFCon would have exclusives that are official, not third party. So we actually had an official, geez, the reflection is crazy on this. An official TFCon item. It was the Figpin Thundercracker, which was official TFCon exclusive Orlando. So I had to pick that up from Figpin. That was really cool. And while I was there picking that up, got to get my boy. So I got both of those. So now I have the hot rod one too. So that's going in the hot rod display. Pretty hype. I believe this one was 20 and this one was 15. So pretty good price. This was limited to, I believe, 100 units. And it has a nice box and everything. So dig that. Figpin's crazy. I mean, look how many like pins there are to put that. If you wanted to put that on your shirt, that thing's huge. That's crazy. What else do we got? What else we got? Oh, and pretty much all we got left is we got one gift. An individual came up to us, gave us a bunch of Z-Bots. Me and Aaron split it. He gave us 2 Z-Bots. I took this dude. Aaron took the big battleship Z-Bot. So we each got a Z-Bot that we were gifted to because they know how much we love the 90s and wacky robot stuff because Z-Bots are pretty cool. And this is the one that had the moving head. I love Z-Bots. Josh Perez loves Z-Bots too. Ask Josh Perez. He loves his Z-Bots. So that was pretty awesome. Stuff that I got this weekend. So pretty much I got everything from TFCon from one booth, all from one booth. And in my opinion, it was the best booth of that whole weekend. Now, everything I'm going to show you, only one item is actually Transformer related. Everything else is anything but. When you have what I have, you know, there's very few that you're missing. And not to mention, I stand by a belief that a lot of product goes on sale. That's what our Discord is for here on the Transformers Slag Podcast. When you join the Patreon, you get to be part of the Discord where we constantly share sales and make sure that you don't pay full price for your hobby because that's silly. And, I was looking at an entire deal room filled with Ross items, all these items that are going to go on sale. So not a huge incentive to really buy most of the stuff in there was a little cool things here and there, vintage G1, but nothing really that I needed that I couldn't buy later on at probably a cheaper price. So there was a lot of good deals to be had, but just nothing that spoke to me really in that moment. But there was one booth, and he gave me a sticker and he gave me his business card because I loved his booth. Retro Rat. Anyone that was there this weekend, he had a huge cage booth, and the entire cage was filled. Let me just grab one example here of loose figures that were just hanging on things, and there was no order or reason. Everything was everywhere. You got it. You had to go through everything. So I bought a whole bunch of 90s nostalgia action figures from him, and they were so cheap. So first, quick change, Kenner, uh, Batman Returns Batman, which he had all the armor and everything from Bruce Wayne to Batman. This was $9.99 from Retro Rat, so I picked up that one. This one I already had and it's already opened, but it was just more. Aaron worked on this one. This is Huntress from the Total Justice line, but this is the repaint that I believe was part of the Justice League set. We picked this one up because we just wanted to have it at Aaron's booth and everything because he actually designed this toy. So picked that one up too. I think I paid $5.99 for that one. Um, Picked up where we got this one. I also opened up just because I wanted to mess with it. Roboto. So the Roboto that I've had when I was a kid has been through the gamut. Still have it to this day. This is the original vintage one, which when you turn it, mouth moves and the gears turn in the chest. You've probably seen this one. I've shown probably a few times on the podcast. This is the modern one that they made. So this is the vintage one. I'm not a big He-Man guy, but I love robots. I love turning gears, you know. So and Roboto was always one of those He-Man figures that I loved. I still have all the accessories, but my actual Roboto figure, the legs are finished, everything. It's been through its sandbox adventures. So I finally was able to upgrade that one, bring it back to normality. So that's pretty hype. Love the video game back in the 90s, Aliens versus Predator, the arcade game. They did a 2-pack and they had the Lynn character from it. So really hyped to get that one from NECA for only $14.99. Didn't have to pay full price for the whole box and everything to get the alien. I just wanted to have her from the arcade game. So that's pretty cool. Now I just got to get the other guy. That's pretty awesome. Love that. This was an amazing beat 'em up back in the day. And here's another example. Didn't want to pay full price for Marvel Legends first appearance Sabretooth. This one's on shelves right now in Canada for I think $34.99. And I was like, I just want to just have it to put it, in front of my Iron Fist comics and stuff. $12.99. Bam. Amazing. That booth was filled with stuff. Bots Masters, Street Sharks, aliens figures, Predator, so much stuff. Street Fighter, GI Joe. It was insane. There's got to be a photo somewhere online of their booth. It was crazy, crazy the stuff that they had. Absolutely crazy. Let me just see. And I'll just show the last thing. The only Transformer thing I got from that booth was Robot Heroes Thunder Skywarp. This was part of a 5-pack that wasn't available in Canada, so now all my Seekers are complete with Robot Heroes. So that was the only Transformer thing I got. Let's look at the questions. One moment. I don't want to miss anything with you guys. Any anime super robots at the con? Oh my goodness, yes. There was an individual who was a BotCon like veteran. I forget his name. Bearded dude, older individual. Tons of stuff. Tons of stuff. Old Shogun Warriors, old Godaiken stuff, mint in box still, bootleg super robot stuff from like in a Godaiken kind of way. He had tons of that stuff. I don't even know where to begin with his booth. Like he had a lot of good stuff, but he knew his prices. So it was one of those things where it's like, here I'm looking at Dimos and I'm going like, ooh, he's got a bootleg Dimos die cast, like the 8-inch one, not the jumbo, but he had the bootleg one. And I was like, ooh, that's pretty nice, but he's asking like 150 for it. And it's like, ugh, so he had a lot of really cool stuff that weekend. There was another guy too that had a whole bunch of bootlegs across from me and Aaron at our booth. But it was more like, Transformer bootleg stuff. A lot of good wacky stuff that weekend that I could always appreciate. A lot of really good stuff there. Where are we at? Where are we at? Tom McNeil. So I wish I hadn't sold all my He-Man figures. I had so many, including King Randor and Prince Adam. Well, you got to have that bread He-Man. That's the one that's the money, my brother. If you had that one, then you should feel bad. Faker's probably the only other one that I'd probably like to own the original. Just an original Faker with the sticker still in good condition. I like robot stuff from He-Man. It's always cool. Transformatics, I thought or assumed I wanted it signed, and he signed the box. Third-party version of Nightbird, to which I had no idea that he had anything to do with until after I got it, and I was wondering, oh, are you talking about, oh, when you met me? Yeah, so that Nightbird, I'm not gonna reach for it. So, but that Nightbird, I don't know, the comic's too far away too. The 2010 TFcon Nightbird, I had a lot to do with that one. That was Impossible Toys with Bill, who's a sweetheart of a human being. I like Bill a lot, who worked on Impossible Toys stuff. And That was just a figure that we worked on. Didn't get well received, I'll be honest with you. But the DNA of that figure lives on today through Sakamoto-san taking that RC Nightbird and turning it into a masterpiece, a Legends figure. So it survived. It started as a third party idea, became an official idea in two different figures, a masterpiece and a Legends through Sakamoto-san. So pretty cool stuff. I had something to do with that. I wrote the comic book with Alex Milne and Josh Perez. We worked on the comic back in the day. That was one of my first ever comic book gigs. And yeah, just fun little set. Again, not well received, unfortunately. There was plenty of units left over, but really cool. Really, really cool. I don't remember signing a box, but yeah, it was really fun to do. Really fun to do that one. Transformers X, why did this con exclusive sign my? Why did this con employee sign my exclusive? Kind of mad at the for a second till a friend pointed out his involvement. I didn't even know. I didn't know if I signed it. I obviously did it with a permission. I would imagine. Collector Prime says, "Man, my Roboto was my favorite as a kid." Yeah, dude, he was like the new one. If you could pick up the new one, and some of them are still lingering. Get that gear turning action, all the multiple hands that change, Mega Man style. You know where I'm going at with this. Bato is amazing. Love him, love him, love him, love him, love him. Glad he did still have it. Good, good. I'm glad I didn't ruin your thing. In an opinion. Ron Diaz, Sabretooth is my all-time favorite villain. Sabretooth's pretty badass, I got to admit. He's pretty badass. And that's why, like, me when it comes to Marvel Legends, I'm very picky with them. And this is based off of, like, again, his first appearance in Iron Fist. So I really like that because there used to be a comic book series called Marvel Milestones back in the 90s. And as a kid, I used to buy those comics because that was like the only way to read those old stories. This is before the internet, and owning a Iron Fist first appearance, Sabretooth back in the day as a kid, forget about it. You don't have that kind of money. So they had reprints of them through the Milestones line. And I used to read that book all the time in grade 6 because I thought it was so cool, you know? And so I have a little nostalgia for that one. I love Wolverine. So if you love Wolverine, Sabretooth is in that same DNA. So love that one. Black Crow Vengeance #1. What do you think will be a good antithesis to the Constructicons, aka a build, RID build team, Operation Combination build team, or G1 Construction Patrol? You're also forgetting what's it called there? Tonkinator. Tonkinator was Hasbro's answer to a Autobot Constructicon team, which was pretty much G2 colors with Autobot logos on them. I always like to feel that the RID build team, Build King, as he was called in Car Robots, was probably the closest to that. And Lord knows they then took that mold and gave it Constructicon colors and called it Devastator afterwards. So I could see them being it, but Tonkinator was really Hasbro's official attempt at, we got to make Autobot Constructicons. Let's just do Tonkinator. And the rest was history. Tucker, just want to hear Proto attempt to pronounce the components of Magmatron. No, I am not even going to try. Oh my goodness. Gigantosaurus. I hope that's probably right. Elasmosaurus and Forget about it. You're talking to someone who speaks 3 different languages, and I'm now supposed to speak the Latin of dinos. I'll just let it be. I rather be insulted than insult your ears with my attempts. Um, let's see. Abraham says, "Wow, cool multi bots, another bot from Mutu." Yeah, well, there was that one. I mean, if you want to count even those rock bots from Masters of the Universe, there's a few. I'm not a big He-Man guy. Never was a big He-Man guy growing up. My sister will watch She-Ra, and I probably, no joke, growing up, I probably saw more She-Ra episodes growing up than He-Man because of my sister. Because my sister would watch She-Ra, and I would probably see that more likely because that's what would be on TV. We had one TV in our house at the time in the living room. So, it's just one of those things where, like, I probably saw more Gem episodes than I saw He-Man. But when I saw that single Roboto episode, I was like, that guy's so cool. And then the figure was cool with the gears. And I bought my original Roboto, I actually got from a flea market many years ago as a child, because when He-Man wasn't popular anymore in the early 90s, this stuff was a dime a dozen in flea markets. And I got one, and that, a lot of this. You can only imagine me wearing out those gears as a kid. Destroyed it. But love it, love it. Uh, Patrick Brown, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Transformers. Oh, it was 2010. I thought it was 2011. Well, I remember in 2010 I was signing the comic books because I wrote the comic book and everyone I was doing the signings for that. I don't remember signing many toys though. I don't remember signing many toys, but I remember signing the comic books. I know this weekend at TFcon that passed, I was sign. A lot of people were making me sign the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod box, which technically, if you were going to get me to sign one toy, it'd be animated Hot Rod. TF Wiki animated Hot Rod. Scroll all the way to the bottom in the trivia, and you'll understand why. Little fun fact with that character and Derek Wyatt. Ron Diaz for $5 super chat. Thank you, Ron. Japan does not shy away from rebooting Optimus Prime, yet they still have such a reverence for Generation 1. I find that fascinating. Well, Japan has these two things. They love celebrating the past and never forgetting the past, but always reinventing the future because people do get bored, which is a best example is like Ultraman or Godzilla. Like they'll always celebrate the past of Godzilla, but they also reinvent the design moving forward. Same thing with Ultraman or Power Rangers, as they call Sentai in Japan. They'll always celebrate the past. Actually, they just announced last week that Deca Ranger is going to be having their 20th anniversary reunion special. And all the actors are old now, which is a shame because some of the actors were really young and good looking back in the day, and now they're all my age and ugly. Um, but back then, so like, the Deca Ranger 20th anniversary, so they're celebrating that, but there's brand new Sentai every year with brand new designs moving forward, changing things up. And that's just, to me, that's the best way to do it. You can't do the same G1 Prime design year to year. You got to mix it up. You got new designs. Look, Headmasters, Fortress Maximus is the leaders. Master Force, then it's Jinrai. Granted, Jinrai had a very Optimus kind of look. Then you got Star Saber with Victory, new kind of design. Diatlas with Zone, new kind of design. Star Convoy, we went back to Optimus, but it was a radically different kind of design. So they kept mixing it up. Then we go to Optimus Primal, very radically different design. Season 2 and 3, radically different designs. Going into Beast Machines, very radically different design. Going into Car Robots, like mixing it up. I feel we're in an era now, which is a shame, where Optimus just is stuck in that G1 design. Look how he looked in Cyberverse. Look how he looked in Earthspark. Look how he looks on shelves with all our Siege and Earthrise and everything product. It's that same boom, boom, you know, mix it up, guys. Make it a little different, you know, have a different silhouette. That's how it's supposed to be, yo. So I agree with you. I agree with you that it's fascinating, but they lean on both sides, and not to mention you can't discount the American influence. And I hate to say it, but they don't like change. They like the same. They like being fed the same thing, and this counts for Canada too. And that's why the Western influence with Hasbro and stuff is like, let's not change a good thing, where Japan likes to usually move forward. I mean, every Gundam series is something new. Every Power Ranger series or Sentai series is something new. They new, new, new. You can't just lean on that forever. And that's very important. You know, Running out of water. I'm so dehydrated today. Went to Costco and had their big hot dog, and I had the Costco in Canada, they make poutine also. So I had a Costco poutine. So much salt. I'm so dehydrated. Princeton Fowlings 59 with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Princeton, for the $5 super chat. Just got the Yellow Park Kickstarter Megatron model kit. The paint and articulation is really good. The light up effects are great. Are those any good? I've been building Gunpla for years. I've been building monogram model kits for years, even when I was like, geez, the first one I built, I think I was 9 years old. It was a F-13 fighter jet. Um, And I always was looking at those YOLO Park ones. Are they really good? I'm really curious about those because I know sooner or later they're going to dive into characters that I'm going to want to own. And I really like the ones that they've done with Kotobukiya. Those are really good. I built a few live at anime conventions and stuff. Those have been pretty awesome. I got to pick up the RC. Haven't picked up that one yet. But the YOLO Park ones I haven't bought yet. So I'm really curious how those are. Very curious. Are those expensive? I'm curious or how they are. If I'm going to dive in, how much am I spending here? But thank you, Princeton. And those are awesome. Those look awesome. I wonder how they are. Abraham, yeah, Deca Ranger Anniversary looks good. Yeah, I'm excited about it. You know, Deca Ranger is probably the most popular out of all the Sentai series that have ever been made, even more so than Jetman. They keep coming back. They keep coming back. They did a Decaman crossover, Deca Ranger crossover. Then they did a 10 years after special. Then they did a Girls in Trouble special. Then they did another one, Deca Ranger meets some other Metal Warrior thing. They did that one. Now they're doing this 20th anniversary. Man, and then of course, obviously they were in Gokaiger in a small shape or form. So they're always showing up. That's easily it's the only Power Ranger series to win an award in Japan. So that says a lot. Or Sentai series. I always say Power Rangers, but just more for simplicity. Where we at? It's Tom McNeil. My nephew destroyed a lot of my toys. Oh no. And there were sneaker buggers and would wait for me not to be home and then grab my old Transformers. Oh my goodness. You know what? I've met a lot of fathers that are really good at teaching their kids. There's daddy's toys, and then there's your toys, and they understand that. And the thing is, today, especially kids, they don't care about toys. So if anything, it's like tools. They just look at it like, why would I touch these? But that sucks, man. Reese's with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Reese. Do you think we will get new versions of Devastator and Bruticus from Hasbro going with Legacy Menasor soon? I'll be honest with you. Yes. I think that Devastator is due. They're just kind of riding out those trademarks that they used with Studio Series because that's kind of how they kept that Devastator trademark fresh, is through that one. Um, Bruticus has to happen sooner or later, but Hasbro's being clever. We're gonna put a Swindle trademark here with Earthspark. We're gonna use a Blast Off here. They're figuring out ways to keep those trademarks alive without doing it. I think personally, if you ask me who the next combiner is going to be, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, I think Superion is going to be the next one. If they're going to pick one, it's going to be that one. Gavin, thank you, JR Mina. That was the Meta Warrior one. I haven't seen that. That was like 2 years ago. That one was rough. That one was like a little adult oriented, that one, especially the Girls in Trouble special. But yeah, I think Silverbolt will probably be the next one in the crew. Silverbolt, Air Raid, Fireflight, and Slingshot, and all of them. Superion for sure. Abraham with the $5 super chat. Hey Proto, did you ever have any interest in Max Steel RoboForce? I have seen the new ones being released by a company called Nacelle. So Nacelle is a company that does a lot of 90s update stuff. So they're doing actually right now, Abraham, they're doing the Cowboys and Moo Mesa stuff, which caught my attention, and the Biker Mice from Mars stuff. I have seen the RoboForce stuff. It does look really cool. The comic store that I always visit, Mark the Comic Hunter, he's a big collector of RoboForce, so he always has the vintage ones and the new ones in display in his glass cases. So I'm aware of them. It's just I never went down the RoboForce rabbit hole. It does seem like something I would love, but if only I had $1 million and all the space in the world, it's kind of the same thing. I love Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball. I would love to collect the SH Figure Art Dragon Ball series. Instead, I have to buy maybe one or two or three figures here or there because if I bought everybody, I'd have no space in this house. So but I am very well aware of it. I'm keeping an eye on their biker mice stuff because those look pretty cool with the light up motorcycles. But the articulation doesn't look amazing. I have to see the figures in person. That would seal the deal. But I am aware of them, 100%, 100%. Prince and Phalanx 59, simple model kit and reasonable price. Oh, okay. Simple though, really? And it has light up stuff? That's interesting. Seraph, my Rhinox got my nephew. Wait, my Rhinox got it by my nephew. I feel you. Oh no, your Rhinox got destroyed. And Beast Wars toys, because of the ball joints, it's easy to tear those guys apart. Mind you, it's easy to put them back together, but still, that sucks. Tom McNeil, everything's getting pushed up. Tom McNeil, my nephew is only 816. Oh no, I'm losing everything. Everyone's getting pushed up. 816, 8 and 16 years old, younger than me. So when I was a teen, they were always over and getting into my stuff. Well, you got to lay down the law, my friend. You got to lay down the law. You break my prowl, I break your fingers. No, just kidding. Seanry with the $2. Oh, that's actually, is that British pounds? Yeah, it's British pounds. Seanry. Do you think, oh, well, here's the question. It's now I know why it's British pounds. Do you think you and Aaron will come to TF Nation UK? Look, if TF Nation is willing to fly us out and give us a hotel, I will gladly come. If they are willing to do that, for sure. They pay my flight and they give me a hotel and they give us a table so we could make some British pounds that weekend. I'm down. I am willing to go to any convention that people are willing to fly us out to. I would love to personally to go to DairyCon. That was always, back in the day, it was always BotCon, TFcon, DairyCon. That was always like my holy triforce. I'd always wanted to do all three, and I never got to do DairyCon. And I would love to do DairyCon one day. If they're willing to fly me out, look, put me in a crappy hotel. I don't care. I've slept on floors, like I don't mind, but I'm willing to do the experience. Same thing with TF Nation. Contact them, say if we could get Aaron and Proto Man to come down. I don't want to sound arrogant, but there was people that came to TFCon that said that they came to TFCon to see me. So in wrestling terms, we call that a draw, meaning like people come to see a person. So I don't know if me and Aaron are worth the plane flight across the ocean. Maybe Aaron is, maybe not so much me. But who knows? If they're down, send me a message, Instagram, Twitter, it's all there. I'm down. I'd be willing to come down. I'll bring cool stuff. We'll have a great time. We'll do a panel for you. You know, you'll get your money's worth if me and Aaron come down. That's for sure. That is for sure. We won't charge for autographs. It'll be good stuff. But yeah, thank you for the interest. Hopefully, if you guys are willing to have us, that's the thing, because it's to pay for the flight is a big one. That's the big thing. That's the difficulty, is getting there. If you guys are willing to cover it, we're more than happy to come. Ron Diaz, what are some non-G1 combiners you would like to see in Legacy, possibly? Well, Road Caesar I would count as a G1 combiner because that's part of G1 Japan. Because if you don't count that, then Road Caesar would be my answer because he's my favorite. But non G1. I mean, obviously it falls on the Beast Wars guys, Magnaboss, Tripredicus. You got some really cool guys. JRX, the rail racer team from Robots in Disguise, Car Robots. Those are a must, even though they would be difficult to put in the Western market. I would love it if they did those. And those are really expensive today. The Japanese versions are fragile. The American versions are expensive because they didn't sell well in the secondary market. Really tough to get 100% complete. If they could do an updated version for people, all the better. All the better. JR Mina, I like Deca Ranger also. Had a huge crush on Deca Yellow. Yo, Deca Yellow's fine, yo. She's good looking. Don't mind me. What was her name? Gosh, she was the one with the psi powers. She was an Esper. That's it. Link CW, 10 years old. My son broke my G1 swoop. Well, before I finish that, to be fair, grown adults have broken G1 swoop. G1 swoop is easily the most fragile of all the G1 Dinobots. Finally replaced it, but it was tough not to mess with the toy. He snuck in, and well, I thought I turned my head and died. Oh no! So there you go. Sometimes you got to put a lock on your door, I guess. Black Crow Vengeance #1. What are your Autobot and Decepticons you remember that could turn into military vehicles? Oh, there's plenty. Like when you do an Autobot tank, you got your Warpath, you know? Well, Decepticons are all military vehicles, but Autobot vehicles, there's plenty, you know? Warpath is obviously the big go-to. It's like, oh, we need an Autobot vehicle that's that's a tank, so that's pretty cool. But then when you fall into like other categories of like, let's just think about it right now. Let's get another like really good one. Obviously outside of like Micromasters, because there's a ton of military Micromasters. The land, I think it's the air military team. No, it was the land military team with the Micromasters. You had not Power Punch. Oh my God, I'm trying. Sunrunner was one of them, and putting me on the spot here. Sunrunner, and there was one with all the missiles there. Like there's quite a few, especially when you dive into the Micromasters. Definitely. And then you just have those repaints. Oh, now you got oversized Micromasters. Um, where are we at here? Tom McNeil. Would they do the aerial bots considering we're getting Beast Wars Silverbolt and Legacy, having a figure with the same name of the line and the same relevant in such a short period of time happens all the time. You'll get a Rodimus in 3 different things. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying we're getting the aerial bots now. Look, Silverbolt is going to be wave 2 of Legacy United. By the time we get aerial bots, it'll be the brand new line, you know? And how many times have we got an Optimus in every line? Is it out of the question to get every time a Silverbolt? Of course not. Let's see. Abraham, know what you mean. Let me scroll down some more. I don't want to miss any of your questions. Transformatics with the $5 super chat. TFs, like Star Trek, has a main cast and lower deck types of characters. So, what 5 Autobots would you see in a lower deck ranked cast? Oh gosh, I mean, let's go with the really like let's do 5 of them. Let's do Scrounge. We'll have Scrounge with okay, we need like the really deep cuts. We need Scrounge with Toaster. Toaster is Blaster's brother, who's literally a toaster, and he had a toy. Scrounge, Toaster. Uh, what else? What else? We got to have one of those mini spies. Just pick any one of the mini spies because none of them have characters. So Scrounge, Toaster, one of the mini spies. We'll go with Enemy, who's the red repaint of the evil cassettes, who has no character. And we need a 5th one. We need a 5th one. We'll go with Freezon from the Tycho RC set, which I believe was the first ever canon female Transformer character, but retconned because of silliness. So, how about that? There you go. That way you got a female representation in there too, because you got to balance it all like it always is now. So, how about those? So, we got Scrounge, Freezon, Toaster, Enemy, and who am I? Who was the last one that I said? Scrounge, Freezon, Toaster, Enemy. Who I forgot. I don't know. Anyways, whatever. Go with those ones. Airy Nut, thoughts on potential quick strike down the road? Well, he is going to be a core class, which, in my opinion, I feel that's a little too small, much like the Rat Trap. Like, I get that they want to do small characters, and Rat Trap and Quick Strike historically were the basic class back in the day with Fusors and in the first wave of Beast Wars of 95 and in the case of Fusors in 98. But I mean, I think I always imagine Quick Strike being a little larger. What I'd like is make Quick Strike a deluxe class, but just put all the engineering and parts into like a super articulated arm and hand or something. I don't mind a Studio Series 86 Hot Rod situation. I don't mind something that's a deluxe class figure, but it has all the paint and bells and whistles and opening hands and everything to be in a Voyager price point and make it happen and make it be good. So make them a deluxe and really pack them up with a whole bunch of cool stuff. That's how I could see it. Thank you for the $2 super chat. But yeah, for sure. I mean, again, he's going to be a core and he'll probably be cool. Wait, but then the next question is, what do you repaint them into? That's a tough one. Quick Strike never got a decent repaint into like another thing afterwards. So that's gonna be they're gonna have to partial the hell out of that into something else. That's gonna be very weird. Take off that tail, probably make a Scorponok or something. Who knows? Abraham, yep, money in space is definitely an issue. Always is. Always is. DairyCon. I'd love to go to DairyCon. Small, but I like it. Looks cool. Will Murphy, the key with kids is to have few bots. They have a few bots they could play with. Yeah, from what I've always heard is daddy's toys, your toys. That's it. Don't sell them short. Prince and Phalanx 59, does TFcon pay for your flight and hotel also? Yes, they do. Always. That's exactly it because we got used to that. If we're going to be there, they're going to pay for the flight and hotel. And so that makes it hella easier, you know? It makes it so much easier. Like they might not give us food money. They might not give us, like, yeah, once in a while you might get a little bit of like food, they'll be invited to a dinner or something. But at least the two biggest expenses, which is hotel and flight, are squared away. And then any money we make that weekend at the table, we could put towards food and survival. So, and we're given that table for free too. We don't pay for our table, so it gives us those opportunities. That's how it should be. And Shawry says, yeah, Aaron has been at TF Nation before. So Prince Function, Power Glide. Yeah, Power Glide's like a Rattler kind of military vehicle. That's true. Roadbuster and Whirl. Oh, they have a history. That comes from unreleased Japanese wackiness. Horned Owl, what if they westernized the rail racers into steam locomotives? Well, if they did that, it would definitely stand a chance, and it would do better in Europe too. And then someone would have to do a Thomas the Tank Engine crossover. And then you could do Loco from GoBots afterwards. So, if anything, Horned Owl, your idea is better than staying true to what they are. But then Japan would be angry because they'd be like, where is our bullet trains? Even though they didn't get enough bullet trains from Shike Leon, and not to mention with our recent ride-in. We got 24 minutes left in the live stream. Batteries will corrode over time. I guess you guys are having a conversation about something else. Open and remove it. Well, guys, if you have a toy with batteries in it, always remove it. My leader class bulkhead, for whatever reason, I forgot to remove the batteries out of him from Transformers Animated. And then one day out of nowhere, just out of nowhere, unexpectedly, ownage, totally ownage, scared the crap out of me because the batteries were dying and it was like short circuiting and it just started making noises on its own and scared the crap out of me. And so yeah, take your batteries out. Not to mention it'll damage the toys too if they explode and corrode. I always say take the batteries out, go to your local Home Depot or whatever, home hardware and get them recycled. Bring them there. That's the best way to do it. Because if they explode inside, they might destroy the toy. I bought a Power Ranger figure that still had the batteries in it. The batteries were exploded. It destroyed the inside of it so bad that it didn't work anymore. Like there was nothing you could do. And I watched videos on how to get rid of the corrosion and stuff, and it still didn't work. It was really bad. James Hopkins, how you doing? JR Mina, hey Proto, since it's Halloween season, what is your favorite horror movie and what horror scary movies do you recommend? So, fun fact, JR Mina, the first job I ever had was when I was, gosh, what year was that? When I was, how old are you in grade 6? I think when you're in grade 6, you're 11 years old. When I was 11 years old, I used to work for a video store called Video Illusion back in the day. I was a big arcade rat. I used to play a lot of Street Fighter 2. Back in, again, I'm an old man, 92, 93. And this video store, I knew the owner since I was a child. And I mean like a young child. He knew my family. And I used to always hang out in his video store playing the arcades there. and he offered me a job, and it was a very simple job. Just put away the buttons on the video store. Anyone who's old enough to remember video stores, take the button off, bring it to the front, you rent the movie. So he used to get all these returns, and he'd be like, "Could you put the buttons away for me?" Right? And he used to pay me $5 a week. That sounds like child, labor, but $5 a week, all I was doing was putting away buttons. He wasn't making me work very hard, and I just had to like go after school and work a couple hours a day. It was amazing. It was like extra allowance. And so that was the very first job I have. The reason why I mention all of this is because what was an extra bonus, which my mother loved, was we used to be able to borrow movies too. So, uh, at one time, I used to like, at the end of the day when he's closing up, it's not like he's going to be missing those movies anyways. I used to be able to borrow whatever I wanted. So I remember at one time I rented all the Freddy movies and then all the Friday the 13th movies. And then kind of desensitized myself on those movies because you start seeing patterns and then they're not scary anymore. If I had to pick a Halloween movie, like a horror movie that I kind of like Freddy more than Jason from Friday the 13th, only because Freddy was more clever with the way he killed people. Like, it's like, oh, this kid has asthma. So, what is his dream going to be about? Something about breathing. Oh, this kid's afraid of heights. What's going to happen with his dream? Where Jason was always, machete, 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 so wasn't as, Jason's cooler, but Freddy was, more funnier. He was more creative. So I'll just go with that. What was the other part of the question? I just hope I didn't miss it all. Trying to find it. Oh, and what are your horror scary movie recommendations? I haven't really watched much. I mean, do you count Army of Darkness? I guess the Evil Dead stuff. Though, if I had to pick my favorite out of everything, the Evil Dead, Army of Darkness stuff. But that's became more action comedy over the years. But I love those movies. Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, easily my favorite. What without question. Love Ash, love all of that. Love how he influenced like Duke Nukem years later and Reboot. So I'll go with those ones. James Hopkins, howdy, welcome James. Clark Clint Gaming, I would love Steam locomotives and Transformers. I would love them too because I'm a big Thomas fan. So that'd be really awesome to see that. Uh, Clark Clint Gaming says, Proto, do you think we'll see old Armada figures reissued like the Beast Wars figures? Oh, I don't know. Armada figures are, I know this is going to sound crazy. Armada figures are almost too good. The amount of plastic that was put in a deluxe class like Hot Shot is like equal to like a leader class today. They're so dense. The plastic is so dense. You have the mini con, you have the sticker, you have the comic book. If they did a true one for one reissue, that would be like a $50 item for a deluxe class figure. Like that's the crazy thing. Especially like when you look at some of them, like even something like Smokescreen that was like a dud to some people. I mean, the amount of plastic that was put in it, and it has the string for the winch. Like they don't do that today. They don't have the budget for that kind of stuff. Well, they do have the budget, but they would just have to charge more. So, I mean, it would be cool. People would get to experience those old toyetic Armada toys, but I think it's so much easier for them to take the characters and bring them to the modern era and just kind of do that than really. And by the way, I got a whole bunch of stuff from the PO box from Mikey and Louie, which I'm going to be talking about next week, and we'll see photos of it, but we'll get into that later this week. But yeah, like, I see them more like just updating them. It's just the safer bet. It's more affordable for them to do that, if anything. Yeah. So I hope that answers that one. Tom Laney had to work today, heading to bed. Thanks for everything you do, Proto. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Well, thank you, Tom, and have a good week yourself. Hard work is hard to do, let me tell you. Lizard Sphere X, if they explode inside, they might destroy the toy. Well, that's true. That's so that you're quoting me here. If they will destroy the toy because what happens is the battery, because the circuit is completely connected, even though you're not activating the figure to do the electronics, the circuit is always connected, it's always draining. And what happens is the gas inside the battery, it starts to expand. And as it expands, it explodes, and then the battery acid, which when battery acid pretty much attaches to the molecules in the oxygen in the air, it turns into a powdery kind of acidy substance that's extremely corrosive, and it destroys the plastic, it destroys the mechanisms for the metal, that the coil and the connection, destroys the wiring that's nearby, and then you just mess up your toy. And you don't want to do that. You want to keep it minty good. Tom McNeil, oh man, the buttons on VHS boxes. Anyone remembers the huge laser discs? Of course. Love laser discs. I'm trying to track down some old ones. James Hopkins, Soul Blade and Afterburner Simulator were my favorite at the arcade. Oh man, I was an arcade rat my whole life, going all the way back to Pac-Man and Double Dragon. Like that shows how old I am. So like I was there for all of those eras. The arcade boom of Pac-Man and Double Dragon, then it went down a little bit because when the Nintendo first came out, then oh man, Street Fighter brought the fighting game boom with Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and then later on with the SNK stuff with Samurai Showdown, King of Fighters, Killer Instinct, that whole boom. Then it went down again a little bit, and then the next arcade boom with DDR, Dance Dance Revolution, Initial D with the racing games, and Drum Mania and Guitar Hero, all of those available in arcades. Then it went down a bit. Then it's kind of back a little bit with all the Chuck E. Cheese slash kind of games. I'm a big arcade guy. Anytime I go to a hotel, if ever they actually, where's my phone? Like no joke, I took this photo. I took this photo on when I was at the airport. Let me just show you guys. Just show you how much I'm obsessed still with arcades to this day. When I was going to my plane at the airport, here, hey, look, Air Canada. I'm going to my plane. Oh snap! Look at those vintage Pac-Man and Centipede. You know, on my way to the flight. Old habits die hard. You know, you know. I love arcades. I have a huge nostalgia for it. It was a communal thing. Everyone hung out at the arcade. Like I miss that kind of thing. And obviously the world today with the internet and everything and playing online, you just don't have that. If you're going to play Street Fighter against somebody, you do it online, but I love the old days of the arcades. Still do. And every time I see an arcade, I check it out. And like I said, when I go to a hotel, I'll always ask them, "Do you guys have a game room?" And usually they'll have old arcade machines that they've just been sitting on for years, and I'll take photos of it. Unfortunately, TFcons didn't, because that was a very weird hotel. Even though it was straight out of the 70s, maybe they would have had a Pong machine. Wouldn't surprise me. Where are we at with the questions? We have so many. I don't want to miss anything. Bigum, hey everyone, been cleaning the kids' playroom and reorganizing my toys, lost track of time. Such is life, my friend. Such is life. Prince of Fox 59, a third party did a Thomas. Yeah, could someone find me a place to buy that Thomas the Tank Engine third party one? I saw someone buy it at Toronto TFCon, and I can't find anyone that's still selling one of those. I want to buy it. I want to buy that one. Someone send me Instagram, Twitter, send me a link. I want to buy that damn thing. That thing's cool. That's third party stuff I would buy. Ron Diaz, who from Energon do you want to see in Legacy? Oh, geez, there's a lot. Sharktacon. Sharktacon is usually one of the best Energon toys ever made. Sharktacon would be cool. Obviously, Energon Rodimus is the easy answer for Proto Man. Kicker. Let's do a new Kicker figure. Do Kicker. Take that Noah Diaz figure, turn it into Kicker. Yeah. There's three right there. Ninjatron loves Army of Darkness. You know what's up. Boomstick, says Timmy K. Point Dex. Again, anyone who hasn't seen Army of Darkness, it's a great movie. T-Formers 2002 Proto. If you remember yesterday, you were talking about my new MP2 Ultra Magnus, and I made a comment about his battery section, and it was indeed corroded from the original battery still in there. Yeah, man. Even pill batteries. Pill batteries will corrode too. They have like a green kind of like liquid, because I collect the old Game & Watch Nintendo games like that predate the Game Boy, and people would leave the batteries still in them and they get destroyed. Luckily, they're easier to clean because pill batteries don't have as much acid in them, but they still get damaged. Still have your Pioneer Laserdisc karaoke time. Where we at? Where we at? Black Crow, have a nice weekend, Proto. Need to head bed to bed. Yeah, it's getting late for people. Take care, man. Lizard Sphere X, Sega does what Nintendo don't. Well, I don't know about that. I have a huge rant with Sega. Sega was always ahead of the time, but they were used as guinea pigs. Guinea pigs, excuse me. We have a gold super chat from MMA Panda. How you doing, MMA Panda, with the gold super chat? Like that Stranger Things 2 crossover, gonna get to also like that Megatron reveal. Well, the Stranger Things 2, a lot of people were asking me why I didn't cover that one. We actually covered that 6 months ago when that leaked out. The only new news that we learned about it was how the box was designed, which was kind of cool with the pizza and the pizza grease on the box. So that's pretty cool. I'm really curious what they're going to do with that mold afterwards. We were just talking 5 seconds ago here. Energon updates. That's a toe line Energon waiting to happen. That pizza one. That is so going to be toe line. They're going to take that little pizza sign. They're going to do it and turn it into an Energon accessory. Mark my words, 100%. But thank you for the gold super chat. And hey, man, that Megatron's looking hype as hell too. That thing's going to be really awesome. That thing's going to be like that one. I'm very interested in.
Megatron must be stopped.
James Hopkins, tabletop arcade games were fun. Oh, I love the old hockey ones. I love air hockey. I love any of that stuff. Any of stuff. I love going to a game center. That's what they're called today. They don't call them arcades anymore. They're called game centers. You know, it's where you get your tickets at Chuck E. Cheese or whatever. But I love going to those. Anytime I see one, like, where's my wallet? Oh, it's my wallet's upstairs. There's a new place locally here in Montreal. They opened up a game center and I bought like $30 in tokens because now everything's with cards now. Nothing's quarters anymore. So you just get cards and you just beep it on the machine. And I bought like $30 in tokens and I played pinball because I love pinball. I played all the different shooters, you know, like just enjoyed it and loved it because it was great because it was packed. There were so many kids there and I just love seeing that. I love it. It's a different world. It's different than what it was back in the day, but it's still pretty cool. And Japan, you know, like they're the kings of that. So hopefully one day I'll go to Japan and check that out. Go to like all the big game centers there. Show Z has the Thomas. Well, then I'm gonna have to go to Show Z, don't I? Is that a trustful place? Never bought from Show Z before. Taleb 1980. I was a fan of the four-player beat 'em ups, TMNT. Oh, bro, you're saying all the kings. TMNT, the arcade game, Turtles in Time afterwards. The Simpsons arcade game, which is amazing. The Avengers one, which was amazing. The X-Men one, based off of the canceled Pride of the X-Men cartoon, was amazing. What was another really good four-player one? Gauntlet Legend, a little bit later, but also a really good four-player one. What's another good one? All on the tip of my tongue here. Ooh, there was the Bucky O'Hare one. That was really good.
Megatron
There
must be
was
stopped.
a Cowboys of
No
Moo
matter
Mesa
the
one that was really
cost.
good. I know I'm forgetting stuff. People have to fill it in for me. There was a lot of really good ones. Show Z. Okay, so we'll check out Show Z then, I guess. Give me some sugar, baby. JR Mina, what's for dinner? Snack proto. Actually, you know, I had a very big late lunch today going to Costco. I don't know what I'm going to have tonight. I do know I will probably for a snack because I'm probably going to watch something upstairs afterwards. The new South Park uh Panderverse special is out, so I do want to watch that because I love South Park. I'm gonna probably have those with pita chips, which are like low carb, low salt chips. I'm gonna have those. I got those from Costco, so I'll have that with orange juice. So that's gonna be my snack. I don't think I'm gonna have a big supper tonight. Had a late lunch that was pretty large. That poutine was enough for me. Look how much water I have left. Usually I don't finish the whole water. I absolutely destroyed the water because very dehydrated. Bigum Proto shot you a link on Instagram. Thank you, Bigum. I'm gonna definitely check that out. I want to get that one. I love Thomas. I have such a huge nostalgia for Thomas as a kid. So they get a Transformer Thomas outside of that one bootleg I own. That'd be great. Thank you. Ashnud eBay has a bunch of Heart of Steel. I have a lot of the Heart of Steel stuff. I have the Bumblebee one, Someone back at TFcon way back in the day gave me the Optimus one. I have the Shockwave one, which is the submarine dude. Not a submarine. It was more like a boat. I have all of those. Love those. I loved Heart of Steel. Spoke to me. Clark Clint Gaming. Why do you think Energon never gets revisited? It will. It will. It's just that the thing is, and I said this actually at TFCon, is Energon was like really the first Transformer series of that modern Archer era that really was the early spirit of classics. Like when you look at that Energon Scorponok and you look what Classics was doing at the time, at the beginning, that could have been a Classics version of Scorponok. When you look at the Starscream, the repaint, that could have been a Classics version. When you look at the Rodimus, that could have been a Classics version. Because when you look at what they did with Optimus and some of the other characters in early Classics, Energon was kind of the DNA of that. So a lot of those characters, you look at them and you go, well, if we're going to do a Scorponok, we're going to do a Titan class, and then we'll do that. Or if we're going to do a Rodimus, we have a few Rodimuses we have to do. If we're going to do a Hot Shot, we're going to do a few Hot Shots. If we're going to do a Tidal Wave, we'll do the vanilla one, then we'll do the Energon colors. Megatrons. Look, we have an Energon Megatron coming in core class, so we're already starting to love a little bit. The Shockwave, that was a great mold, aka Shock Blast, as he was called back then. The Energon Ravage or the Battle Ravage, the Dive Bombs, the Insecticons, the RCs, the Bulkhead. Go pick up that Bulkhead from Aaron Archer. Might as well give that a plug again. Where are you at, Aaron? Where is it? There it is. If you haven't picked it up, Aaron Archer's, go pick up that one on archermonster.com/shop. There's that one too. The Bulkhead, that's a good way to use a Bulkhead trademark without using the animated one. Wing Saber. There's tons. There's tons that they could do, for sure. And I'd be interested because I like Energon. The show kind of was hit or miss, unfortunately, due to the writing. I understand what they were trying to do, and again, watch the Japanese version. Don't watch the dub. But cool designs. Somkiat wants to know for $5. Hey, Proto, since Nancy and Kranix have similar, if not the same, head sculpt, is there a lore in place of her origin for Linda? Nah, you know what that was? So the 86 movie was directed by Nelson Shin. And Nelson Shin at that point had never done anything really with Transformers. His first touch with Transformers was the 86 movie. Nelson Shin owned a company called ACOM Productions. Now ACOM would go on to do famous stuff like The Simpsons and a lot of other stuff. But one of their first things that they did was, hey, we did the 86 movie. We found success with that. Hey, Hasbro, we'll do season 3 for you. And that's why season 3 was, you know? So what they were essentially doing was they were recycling designs from the 86 movie to make new characters. So obviously someone in ACOM Productions, along with Sunbow and Marvel and Hasbro, were like, hey, we have to make a female Junkion. And they just looked at a Lintho design from the 86 movie and went, there shouldn't be a lore connection. It's just more of a behind the scenes ACOM Studios, no offense, Nelson, but a little lazy kind of reference. I mean, that's why a lot of those episodes kind of look the way they look. They're not the best quality. But that's kind of the explanation for that in a long-winded way. Hope that answers that a little bit. I would like it if Nancy got a figure, though. Nancy gets a figure, then we could get a Kranix figure that also transforms. Make it that Nancy transforms and make her turn into a motorcycle, and then do a partial that gets rid of the motorcycle parts and turn it into the space shuttle that Kranix transforms. And he does transform because if you look at his old Marvel issue number 4 universe bios back in the 80s, it shows his transformation. Horned Owl in Chicago here. They are called barcades. Oh, we have barcades. But barcades are different. Barcades are where I go to face other guys in competitive Street Fighter. Barcades are where I go to have beer spilled on me by a drunk guy trying to play like, X-Men. It's different from arcades. Arcades are a different thing. They're kind of a different animal. And you get young kids at arcades, and you don't see kids in barcades, unfortunately. Barcades, every time you go on a Saturday, it's someone's like bachelor party. It's kind of a different animal. We have 2 of them here in Montreal, and they're really cool. Don't get me wrong. Retro Montreal, Retro Barcade, Really cool. Shout out to Dom who runs it, but it's a different animal. Bigham says Thomas sold out on Show Z currently. Ah, well, damn, that sucks. Ashna TF Safari has has the Thomas and Cliff Jumper. B is sold out. Okay, well, I don't care if the B is sold out. I just want the Thomas, that's for sure. So I'll have to check TF Safari. Is that any good? Children of the Atom. That was the fighting game. That one was really good. I love Children of the Atom. Drill Claw. Prince of Raj. Use Wolverine. Let's go, bub. Love that game. And then everyone used Psylocke because she had the best. She had the best animation. Very jiggly. Taleb, Spider-Man had a 4-player game. Yes, it did, where you could play as Black Cat, Namor, and Hawkeye, if I remember correctly. That was a really good one too. I think it was the first time you could play as Black Cat in a video game. Alien versus Predator. How could I forget that one? I literally just showed the figure. Shame on me. Alien versus Predator. Amazing 4 beat 'em up. That was another amazing one. Sunset Riders. Love Sunset Riders. I would always use the guy in blue, even though the guys with the shotguns actually had better range. Sunset Riders was amazing. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. How could I forget Cadillacs and Dinosaurs? That was another amazing one. And then now you're reminding me, the Punisher one, where you could also play as Nick Fury, is really good. Oh my goodness, there were so many. Now, but the Cadillacs and Dinosaurs one was really good too. So many. Oh goodness. Ron Diaz with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Ron. My girl and I enjoyed your panel at TFcon. I felt like it was very much like Japanese stand-up comedy with a straight man and a funny guy. Well, you know what? Me and Aaron, when we do panels, like no joke, guys, we kind of just go up there. We have the slides, but we don't really have a plan. We kind of just go up there. We kind of just like show you guys stuff and just kind of shoot the shit and have fun, have a good time, you know? And it was funny because I mean, people who weren't there at TFCon, what was so weird was they put like the microphone far away from the line. So a person would ask a question in the microphone, and then the next person would have to slowly walk to it. And it was like this awkward, like 5 seconds as they walked to the microphone. And me and Aaron were just like making jokes the whole time. Like Aaron was like doing like Stone Cold Steve Austin's music. Dun, 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 dun. Oh no, he was singing Real American. He was singing Hulk Hogan's theme. You know, we were just having fun. You know, we just want to make you guys laugh and you have a good weekend. You know, have a fun panel. We wanted to make sure you guys don't miss it. And it was pretty packed. I was surprised how many people showed up because it was the very last panel of the day before the dealer room closed. And usually that's kind of a death sentence because usually people want to be in the dealer room when it closes. But no, we had a lot of people that showed up, so it was really good. And thanks for showing up. You know, thanks for the love and support. Like we try to entertain you guys. You know, we try our best. And if you laugh and you smile, then you know, I always say a smile is free. You know, a smile is free and it's infectious. And I think that was Magic Johnson who said that from the Lakers because he was always known for his smiling. It's free and it's infectious. And that's true. It's so true. You know, Kaz with the $5 super chat. Why do many Western TF fans denounce Japanese fiction? Just the TF wiki because they have no class. I love and respect Bob Bugansky, but some of the fans see Marvel Hasbro stuff as the gospel. Well, it's all good. I mean, I love I love Simon Furman stuff, and that's technically not Western. That's actually European. I love Bob's origin with Primus. I think that's like my Transformers. I love a Primus origin, but I also love the Japanese continuity. I love Master Force. I love Transformers Victory. I love the Unicron trilogy's Japanese side of things. You know, I think the wiki, which is a Western board and thus Western members, kind of pushes aside the Japanese stuff or it says nasty things about it. But whatever, whatever. It is what it is. Maximum Spider. Spider-Man was amazing in Marvel superheroes. WWF WrestleFest. Who was your tag team? Mine was Ultimate Warrior and Mr. Perfect. Because Hogan was hard to use. He'd always drop that leg drop when you didn't need it. But mine was, and I don't even like Ultimate Warrior. It's just he was just good to use in the game. If I could have used Bret Hart, I would have, but he wasn't in it. Hasbro ever going to come down on those stolen toy reviews? They can if the toy reviewers were located in America. If the problem is, and I've talked with them, the problem is it's very hard to cut down on guys that aren't on the same soil. You could press charges on stolen goods, but certain people would have to be on American soil. That's the problem. And as long as they're over there, they're fine. I remind everyone of the ending of Fast and the Furious 1, the very first movie. Dominic crossed over the border to Mexico, and he was standing literally on the line of the border. And Paul Walker's character couldn't arrest him because now he was in Mexico. That's it. Drug charges, felonies, theft, all this stuff, other side of the border. Couldn't arrest him. If he crosses over, then he could arrest him. That's why you always have those things where guys, they come on a plane, they get arrested at the airport right away. So until a certain people leave their country and come to America, then you could come down on them. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't care. It's very hard to get YouTube to do something about it. I know Mattel was able to, someone had early information on some Jurassic Park stuff, Jurassic Park toys, and Mattel got YouTube to take down that guy's channel. But it was like a whole process. I ended up people were talking about it, but then we found out it was a whole process to do that. It took them like a year to get this guy taken down because he was getting stolen stuff and early information about Jurassic Park toys, which were then spoiling the movies. So, who wrote the Unicron trilogy? Multiple different people. The original Unicron trilogy was two different writers that had one story. Energon was a weird one, aka Superlink. It was written by one guy who did like the first 30 episodes, and he really only just wrote the show for 30 episodes. And then the rest of it was written by, I think, his wife. And it had a very different story. So that's why the show almost feels like two different stories. Cybertron was done by Studio Gonzo, and it was a bunch of different people. I don't have names, unfortunately, but I do know the stories of it. So, and they're great. I think they're great. But watch the Japanese versions. That's what I always say. Watch Micron. Don't watch Armada because the names are going to confuse you because the scripts weren't finished. One moment it's Swindle, then they're calling him Grid, then they're calling him Leader One. But yeah. How much time we got left? Oh my God, we're already over. Oh, well then. Here we go. Aaron says here, plotted by Hasbro and Takara, animation written by Animation Partners, dub revised by USA by Hasbro. There you go. Which the dub for Armada was terrible. It was a mess. Those scripts were not finished. It was too early. Oh my goodness. They called Overload Ultra Magnus at one point because that was his Japanese name. I'm trying to remember some other flubs. There was quite a few. But anyways, guys, we're over the 2-hour mark. We peaked at about 150 people tonight. Thank you all for coming by. Thank you for all the Hasbro people. Thank you, Aaron, for coming by. Thank you for everyone who came by TFcon weekend and came by Aaron's booth and mine and just, gave your praise and love and support. Again, if you want to continue supporting the podcast, we do have Patreon. There's a link below. You could come join us on Patreon. That's probably the best way to support the channel. Gives you access to the Discord and all the cool stuff with that too. If Patreon is not your thing, we have that join button over there. That's for YouTube membership. That's what our beautiful green names on the side are, who get to ask all the questions to their heart's desire. So if you want to ask a whole bunch of questions and don't want to do the super chat thing, which also I appreciate everyone who does the super chats. That helps the channel a lot with the super chats. Again, there's different ways to support the podcast. Aside from that, again, support Aaron Archer. Check out his stuff, archermonster.com/shop. Go pick up that bulkhead. Might as well put it up one more time. Go pick up that bulkhead if it hasn't been snatched up already on his store. It's the last one left. Aside from that, that's it more or less. Thank you for all the love and support, people. Thank you for everyone who hooked us up with presents and gifts and stickers and everything like that. And everything. Where's the other stickers? Oh, they're everywhere. But anyways, the cutesy stickers and stuff. Again, guys, thanks for all the love and support. And like I always say, smile, enjoy life. The world is not as bad as you think it is. There's a lot of negativity in the world. There's a lot of stupidity in the world. There's a lot of fighting. But like I always say, something's up. And it's not, it's just to make us all fight against each other. We should all be smiling and enjoying the amazing world we live in with the amazing hobbies we have, with the amazing people we have around us. I'm out of here. I'm going to go watch South Park. I'm going to go play some Nintendo Switch. I'm going to go eat some good food, and I'm going to enjoy it with my friends and my family. Take care. I'm out of here. Roll out.